So welcome to the Scorchfarer. Am I live? Am I uploading this? So what's the story? Saw this game on Steam and I said, yeah, I should play it. And that's the whole story. Nothing more, nothing else. I was thinking of recording Halo Reach, but I was thinking, yeah, let's do something else. Alright? Let you see what happens. A shelter heart might not ache, but it will be long for the mystic turmoil and mysterious torment, and I couldn't read, but you could. The Wonder and the Anchor. You know your boy's always down to play indie games. It's a little loud. Maybe I can just lower the volume for myself. I'm barely 10 in volume, alright. Can you say cursor? Okay. 45 days in the Infinite Garden of Usu, bear marks and prophecies, the man's finger moved across the spine of the books in his personal library. Some of them had gathered dust from not being used in a long time. He had spent the last few years assembling an impressive collection that he was proud of, even though he didn't remember owning some of them. His black hair was starting to fade back into its original snow-like color. Beginning from the tip of his fox ears and tails, he was quite tall and had a thin build. Let me show you something on the glowing eye. Huh. You should be shy about her artistic skills. She's been trying to take his drawing away from me. It reminds me of when we first met. It makes me uncomfortably nostalgic. Alright. And I close this window by. So I guess we can just check out the environments. My sprint machine is very old. I'm actually surprised it still works. I can't really complain though. My aunt gave it to me for free the day I enrolled into this academy. I wish I could replace it though, but the newer models are so expensive. At least it gets the job done. Recording on this one can be a hassle. For receiving messages over very long distances works like a charm. Right. And I guess that's that for now, I think. Alright. Small apartment which he inhabited had a view from high above, overlooking the mountain range and the black forest that surrounded the flatlands below. Such a unusual piece of land could only be man-made. Most, if not all, his furniture was made of fake, rigid materials which resembled wood. The simplicity of his room was of his own accord, since not much was needed to entertain himself. There was, however, an impatient look in his eyes. He had grown tired of this place long time ago. He found himself staring out in the window quite often, before going back to whatever he was doing. The sound of the clock on the wall near his bed was the only thing accompanying him on that solitary night. As the pile of books grew larger, his confidence began to wane. He pored through the books that he had gathered in his desk, rereading the books' titles every few seconds, checking their contents on random pages. He scratched his head, not sure which one to choose. He has probably read already most of this, he said to himself while crossing his arms. He rearranged the book on his desk, his peaks reduced just to 3. It wasn't until his desk had been properly cleaned that he noticed a faint glow coming from the contraption on his left. Is that a hint for more things to follow? Nope, seems to be the same. Small rock encrusted inside the machine was creating this glow. An expression of uncertainty appeared on his face. After a few seconds, he quickly discarded the books he had on his desk, piling them up with the others. He opened the lid of the machine, removed the rock resting inside and pocketed it right away. It wasn't long before he walked to the entrance and pulled his shoes on, leaving his apartment without even locking the door. A double knock alerted the girl. She knew right away who it was because of the knocking pattern. "Yuki?" she asked. "We got a message. This could be it," Yuki said from the other side. "I know it's late, but I really couldn't wait. I didn't want to listen to it on my own." The door unlocked a moment later and slowly opened, revealing a rather small girl with pink hair. "A message this late?" she said slowly. Yuki smiled at the girl. The moment his eyes were on her, he couldn't help but feel happy whenever he saw her. I thought the same, but Yuki took the glowing rock from the inside his pocket and showed it to her. If they sent it this late, it's probably important, he said. You could place his forearm on the door frame at head level. Thank you for being so attentive. It's possible I will notice it a day after, said the girl while she rubbed her left eye. Please come in. She moved out of the way and opened the door all the way for Yuki. Thank you. I always thought that robe was cute, Yuki said while making his way inside the room. Even though they knew each other for almost a decade, there was still some tension between them, mostly from Yuki. He was always a bit nervous when going inside Michi's room. I can lend it to you if you want, Michi said with a mischievous smile on her face. Your knees will probably get really cold though. Michi closed the door and locked before following Yuki across the room. I will look ridiculous in it, no thanks, Yuki said. He couldn't help but shudder that mental imagery. Yuki almost stopped in the middle of the room, not knowing what to do. So, it always smells nice, he said to himself, while looking around the room. Michi walked past him and sat on the bed, inviting him to sit next to her. Yuki squeezed the glowing rock in his hand. Before taking a deep breath, he made his way to where Michi was and sat next to her, close to the machine on her nightstand. This one was much smaller than the one he had in his room, but was made for the exact same purpose. He inhaled deeply while staring at the rock. Michi smiled at him silently as he placed the rock inside the machine with a slight shaking hand. The prince box got to work. It began the usual crackling sound it makes when trying to retrieve messages within the rock. I got a little confused because there was the name of the character here, but minor things. Michi took her slippers off, raised her feet on the bed, and took a nearby pillow to keep her hands busy. Do you think he's bad news? She asked. Yuki had his eyes focused on the machine. His brain didn't process her questions until a few seconds later. I really hope it's not. It's been so long, Yuki said. He almost got interrupted by a voice coming from the machine. This message is exclusive to Mikaela and Yukiharu, terraforming Team Aikin. The voice came from the Prince box built-in speaker and was of somewhat poor quality, but it was perfectly intelligible. There was a short silence before the next statement. We are pleased to inform you that after some individual evaluation, you have met the minimum requirements for approval. Gee, thanks. Yuki's mouth opened a bit, as if he wanted to say something but couldn't. His expression was one of excitement, but decided to listen to the whole message before saying anything. Michi, on the other hand, immediately grabbed Yuki's shirt with quite some strength. She clearly wasn't sleepy anymore. Yuki, he said. Michi thought for a second about what the man had you said. Are we really ready? I mean, am I approved? The girl said with emphasis on I. She wasn't quite sure about how to put her thoughts into words. Yukiharu was quite excited as well. He took the hand with Michi was grabbing his shirt. You won't be assigned to a city just yet. Waiting for further instructions in the next few days, said the voice coming from the machine. There was a short pause. Yukiharu, take care of Michi. Of course, Yuki said to himself with a serene expression on his face. Yuki looked at Michi after a moment. After 3 years. They both shared a hug, embracing each other tight. I can't believe it. We're actually leaving, said an excited Michi while keeping Yuki close to her. He placed his forehead against her. Promise me, we'll always have each other's back, Yuki said in a calm voice. Count on it, Yuki. I won't allow anything to happen to you, Michi said, quite confident in herself. Now I wonder if it's Michi or Miki, because her name is Mikaela, so, okay, Mikaela. But, because then it will be Miki, right? Mikaela, Miki, yeah, that makes sense, so let's call her Miki from now on. Miki suddenly gasped at letting go of Yuki. We have to tell the prefects. We have to get everything ready. I'll start packing right away. Her voice kept getting faster as she squeezed Yuki's hand tighter with every sentence. The pair was so excited to finally leave the institute where they came of age. After all, it had been almost 15 years since they arrived to the South Academy. I think we should wait for the next message, Yuki suggested. He said they'll contact us in the next few days, but that's very vague. Packing everything up when we could be contacted in a week might be a problem. Let's grab our most important stuff, Mickey exclaimed. Yuki nodded twice. He was overjoyed about finally getting their approval. He grabbed Mickey's hand and guided her to the balcony of the apartment. Oh boy. What the hell is that? You know, we have... The Halo Marathon is not done. Apparently, we're still playing Halo.
When you first saw Halo, were you blinded by its majesty?
Blinded?
Paralyzed? Dumbstruck?
No.
Just a different part of the universe. From far away, they could see an ominous glow of the crimson light of a crimson ring. A light refraction that could be seen hovering above any part of land was magically changed. The perpetual flames gave this phenomenon a red tinted color on the outside. It was an incredible sight, but it also served as a reminder of the sad state in which the world was. Their world. They couldn't help but feel respect towards it, though. The pair remained silent for quite some time, looking at the night sky. Even if the ring was looming threat, nobody could deny its beauty. Thank you for being my partner. These 3 years of which have been an eternity. Now that we are leaving, it feels like nothing, said Mickey before squeezing Yukiharu's hand. Yukiharu shook his head a few times. I'm sorry, I always have problem reading. But maybe the phone could be just a tiny bit bigger, Well, anyways, I should be the one saying thanks. We'll be the best terraformation team that has ever existed. You'll see, said Yukiharu. Both of them looked in the direction of the mountain range. Mickey eventually took a peek at her partner's face. She could see the confidence in his smile, mostly thanks to the fact they were in this together. By the way, I don't know how long this game is. The Scorch. Infinite walls of fire that cover this world, created by a cosmic event more than 200 years ago. The Mark of the Magus is how it's called by the people who survived this event, supposedly as a punishment to those who ignore the silent call of nature. The reason the fire rain was cast upon this world is still a mystery. A massive solar flare almost completely eradicated life in this world, eliminating more than 95% of life on the surface. Some places were left intact thanks to magic or divine intervention. Since then, the surface of this world has become an infinite firestorm. Nothing can survive the condition of these scorched plains. The gods have abandoned us. Almost nothing is left of them. The beliefs in this world were divided in 3 main religions, all of them supported by the divine beings, which had no voice in our planet's existence. The ambiguity of these celestial creatures led to different interpretations of what was the objective of these invisible forces in our world. After the fire ran, you could only hear murmurs of the gods. In the wind that whistles throughout the valleys, in the cold water of the streams, in every fruit that fell from the trees. They left behind their temples and idols, which remind us of their importance. Their presence is undeniable. However, the people in this world does not have time to stop and listen. There is much work to do. This is a reality to which new generations have been born into, which means that they hold no sentimental value of the old world. The Crimson Horizon, the aura created by the Scorch, has always existed from their point of view. While the old folk try to decide which star is the one to receive the blame for our misfortune and the destruction of this world, the young ones are working to bring balance back. Terraformation, the magic process through which infertile and abrasive soil is manipulated to sustain life once again. This world depends on this process to survive, not only to create more habitable zones, but bring back magic balance to the surface. Give me an achievement. Also, I'm glad that it's showing the achievements because sometimes I record and they never showed up. So every time it's like, I got an achievement, you're talking crazy, I'm saying nothing. Alright. Terramagus, a subclass of the anti-magus. The specialists in this kind of magic are the ones responsible for healing this world, a dangerous job and often fatal. The Crimson Rings awaits. Yeah, we're still playing Halo. Sorry, try to focus. Oh, damn it! I was thinking, yeah, the room. And it's like, couldn't I have investigated the other room? God damn it! They literally told me a minute ago. Alright. Alright. I wonder if this is going to be strictly a visual novel. What I mean by that, if it's just read one thing after the other, or there's going to be more elements by clicking the environments. I mean, you might think it's rather simplistic, but I mean, there's only so much you can do in a visual novel. But it's fine. So far, I'm liking the story. I like the mystery around it. Here she comes, look! Yuki shouted as he pointed at the sky. Mickey noticed a large creature in the distance. Its white scales reflected the light from the sun, making it easier to spot. They were standing on the north platform of the South Academy. The floor on the platform, being made of a transparent material, allowed them to see through it. They were around 200 meters above the ground, which would make anyone afraid of heights not want to step on it. Hold on, let me just double check this. Audio, alright. Yeah. This platform was connected to one of the biggest entrances to the academy, which was carved on the exterior of a giant apple tree. Lupomo, one of the oldest and most respected institutes of the world, of the new world. Do you have everything with you? Yuki asked. I think so, Miki replied. She hugged her partner's arm as soon as she stepped into the platform. She has never been good with high places, so she preferred not to look through the floor by keeping her head straight. I tried to pack everything I could, but to be honest, I think it's more than I should have. Should I take out the clothes that I put inside your luggage? What if they make us discard everything once we get to Foxtrot? Yuki, help, I'm so nervous. A very nervous Mickey said. She squeezed Yuki's arms. Yuki laughed nervously as he heard Mickey show her restlessness. With a creature like that, I think we can bring all the luggage we want, Yuki said. The large creature flew over the platform before making a turn landing on it. Yuki covered his face, since the strong wind produced its wings, sent leaves and twigs flying everywhere. A wyvern stood proud in the middle of the platform before slowly making its way towards where they were. It's a big creature, alright. Yuki moved close to the creature. He had been trained to ride wyverns during his academy years, so he knew how to approach them correctly. This was his first time meeting this wyvern, though. Compared to the ones he rode in the past, this wyvern looked more highly trained. As he came close, the wyvern lowered its mouth to smell Yuki. It awful and allowed him to move closer. Yuki checked the tag that was hanging from the right side of the saddle. Okay, it's Quita. I'm just going to say Quita. It's a female, as they mentioned, 3 years old, Yuki said with a smile. As Yuki read from the tag, he noticed the name of their terraforming group on the tag as well. This is the wyvern that was assigned to us, said Yuki as he stepped back a bit. The wyvern was almost 2.5 meters tall and had a very unfriendly face. Not very unusual for a wyvern, Yuki Yuki thought. I hope she can smell fear, or she'll eat me, Mickey said, looking at the creature a few steps behind Yuki. I thought she would be much scarier. Just look at her eyes. Do you think she likes us? She has to. She fixed her hair before speaking again. I remember reading that they are very proud creatures. Maybe we should have brought a gift for her? They are territorial, but not that much. There's only one way to find out if she likes us or not, Yuki said, moving closer to the creature once more. He began to stroke the side of her neck. The wyvern didn't move away, however, she looked at Mickey as if expecting her to do the same. Mickey felt a chill run down her spine as she saw the wyvern look directly at her. The girl moved closer to the creature, extending her hand towards it. Hello, small one. You're a partner now. I will take care of you as well, Mickey said, followed by an inaudible sigh. I'll help you invigorate your way. Yuki isn't that good with directions, Mickey whispered to the wyvern while smiling at the creature. What was the last part? Yuki asked with a dumb expression on his face. A very loud scream came from the side of the academy, grabbed the attention of Mickey and Yuki. The wyvern had moved her head and looked in the direction of the scream as well. A girl even smaller than Mickey ran towards the platform. She grabbed Mickey's hand as soon as she was within reach, trying her hardest not to cry. Except for this girl. Yuki had already said goodbye to all his friends and acquaintances. He knew she would show up, even though everyone else in the academy was busy. I made up my mind. You aren't leaving, said the girl, that had started to cry almost immediately. I don't want to be alone. Also, is there a way to prolong leave save? There's this solution. I was thinking if I could make like the window darker, because it's kinda hard to read sometimes. But guess not. Also, I don't mind the text speed. Also, can I actually check currently? Alright. Oh, I'm seeing zero sparks. Yuki moved closer to the wyvern, which was puzzled by the screams of the girl. When he realized she wasn't a threat, the creature looked at Yuki again. The man commanded the creature to lower his body so he could mount their belongings on the side of his body. I don't trust Yukiharu, he's a bad influence, she said aloud. Alright. What am I about the influence again? Yuki yelled back at her while working on Quira. The wyvern only looked back and forth throughout the conversation. I know, I'll go with you, the girl screamed, ignoring Yuki's question. Ika, calm down. If it wasn't for Yuki, you know we wouldn't have gotten this far. Thank you for worrying so much though, Mickey said, embracing her. I'll be alright. We'll be alright. It's already 2? Fuck. I'm going to leave this for later. I mean, VRV. But it won't notice. I'm sorry, I just ended abruptly the other time because I was looking at the time and it's like, oh wait, it's already 2 p.m. Now it's 10:52. I woke up early, but you know, I was just messing around too much. Sure, I'm going to record soon. Anyways, it was projected with this father. Thank you so much because we'll be alright. We'll be alright. Yeah, little mixture of things here. Anyways, I'll tell you all about it whenever I can. I promise. Mickey said, trying to calm her friend down. Ika slowly wrapped her arms around Mickey and began to sob. After almost a full minute, they separated. Ika removed her glasses and wiped her tears. Promise that you'll write to me every day, Ika yelled. Ika put her glasses and took a brush from one of her pockets. Jeez, I can't read. What else is new? She handed it over Mickey, squeezing her hands together in the process. The brush had an ornament that resembled the flowers that bloom from the apple tree of the academy. Every day without fail, Ika exclaimed. Every day, Mickey responded. Even Yuki, right? Mickey said. She looked over her shoulder at him. Yukihiro was almost done with the wyvern, adjusting the straps to make sure nothing would fall off during the flight. I'm not really sure what I could write about, even less if it has to be every day. How about once a week? Yuki said. Frowned upon hearing that, looking at him, a bit of jealousy in her gaze. If I found out that you touched her, what? You feel my wrath. Alright. I mean, yeah, my thoughts exactly. His scream causing Yuki to look at her with a confused expression. Yeah. What if she's the one that touches me? Yuki said with a small grin on his face. My guy. That wouldn't happen, she answered back. She stared at Mickey, trying to get some validation. Oh, style change. I should get going now, Mickey said. Ika see a bit of blush across her cheeks. Yuki laughed a bit the moment he saw Ika's face of defeat after noticing how flustered her friend was. Thank you for the brush. I'll use it always. Before hugging Ika one last time, Mickey made her hair into a ponytail and used the brush to tie it. I left some cookies for you in my bedroom as a parting gift, Mickey said. I'll eat them all tonight, Ika said. After getting... Again, I don't know, I'm just gonna say Quira, because, you know, keeping everything in English vocals. As much as I can, at least. Ready for the flight, Mickey and Yuki got on their wyvern. Be careful, both of you, Ika screamed. Good luck. The wind created by the wyvern kept Ika from moving forward on the platform and made her clothes and hair move wildly. Mickey and Yuki waved back at Ika as the wyvern lifted off the platform. Are you ready? Yuki asked his partner. I was thinking the other day because I quit early, right? But I think it would have been cool if we could have seen like the other perspective. Like supposedly they are on a high place, so it would be cool to see the other. And maybe I'm getting ahead myself. Maybe the next cutscene is that, but if not, well, I would like to say that. Would have been given another like grandiose view of the current world we're in. Anyways, more than ready. I have been looking forward for this so long, said Mickey, grabbing him tightly from behind. Are you ready, little one? Mickey asked as she looked over Yuki's shoulder at Quira. I hope I don't fall, because if I do, I'll probably take you with me, Mickey said. That won't happen, said the man out loud, with a lot of confidence in his voice. He grabbed the reins tight and pulled them to the left, commanding Quira to turn in that direction. The wyvern made his way through the branches of the tree that practically obscured the view around the academy. A numbing silence invaded their ears as they got used to the wind moving through the sides of their faces. The couple would see the large mountain range in the horizon, and even further, the infertile lands created by the fire rain. These charred lands surrounded the academy in every direction. Their eyes focused on the skyline for a few seconds. Yuki pulled on the reins, ordering Quira to make a turn, so they could start flying towards their destination. Terraformation, the process through which infertile and magically charged soil is manipulated to rapidly heal and nurture life once more. This world depends on terraformation to survive, not only to create more habitable zones, but to maintain magical balance. A little over 200 years ago, an event of cataclysmic proportions took place, the Fire Rain, a massive firestorm that was cast upon this world, so destructive that in less than 10 hours, most life on the surface was eradicated. Only a few places, those which had enough time to prepare, managed to survive. Even though some locations were left unharmed, more than 95% of life on the planet perished. Most of the survivors succumbed to their wounds, disease, or as a result of famine that soon followed. The magic that was permeated this land released large amounts of heat, making it impossible to get close to them. Nothing would survive in the conditions within these zones. The old name of the continent became irrelevant, so it was named Usu, a few decades after the Fire Rain. In the old song, the continent meant survivor. You know, the academy was always kind of suffocating for me, To think that without it, a lot more people would have died. Mickey said, holding her partner close. Thanks to it, we can continue to save this land. Yuki got serious right away. The sight of the charred land was quite ominous. I think we should see it through a different lens. There isn't much left to save in these plains. You can only start over. The academy started to look small in very little time. However, travel was quite fast after all. Yuki extended his arm to reach for the compass that was inside the bag hanging from the base of Quira's neck. Little run-off sentence. He handed it over to Miki, so she will navigate them through the skies. For years, the communication between the Academy's Institute and cities that survived was cut. Oceans and large walls of fire made it almost impossible for communities to thrive. They all put their attention to ancient techniques that quickly turned into a priority. The reformation became indispensable for life to continue. After years of war, corridors were created that managed to connect cities. These corridors were long terraformed areas that kept flames from bursting out of the ground. The reason they kept the grim look was because of the thick ash from neighboring charred plains. Even if the land was treated, the conditions surrounding these corridors made it impossible for life to take hold once more. However, the main purpose was a success. Large corridors, like within the earth, out the earth. I should pay more attention. There's one here. Even in the corridor, you can see the veins of the earth. I hate this smell. Probably sulfur or something. It smells burnt. If something isn't done soon, these wounds will continue to open. We should probably come back here once we gain some field experience and try to fix this problem. Fair enough. Let it close this again. No, I think that's all. The worm was very used to the burnt smell that came from the ground. It didn't seem to mind flying over these areas. Mickey sighed. She stared at the ground, in particular the glowing veins on the earth. Jesus. It must have been a good life, Mickey said. It doesn't seem fair. That paradise was taken away from them even before they were born. A world without war, not hunger. Where disease was not that much of a big deal, with how much advanced healing magic was. That description was just too perfect for Yuki to imagine. He would find it hard to believe such life would be even possible. He understood the nature of people. They are drawn to conflict after all. 200 years after the fire rain, peace between both continents has started to dwindle. Even internal conflict within Uso was becoming a problem. It has been a few years since I have been to Foxtrot. Has it changed much? She asked. The city has always looked the same since the first time I visited. It has expanded quite a bit, but its people haven't changed at all. They're always so friendly and treat magic users with a lot of respect, Yuki said before looking over his shoulder. Mickey hugged Yuki a little tighter. Seeing you this calm while riding Quira helps my nerves. You're really good at it, Yuki said. Those riding classes paid off in the end, Yuki said. After short silence, Mickey spoke. We have quite time to relax, only the three of us. Do you think we'll have to present ourselves to someone once we arrive? Or will we have to will we be completely invisible to everyone? Deep inside, she hoped the latter will happen. Hard to tell, considering that we have to get one last approval. I think we'll need to talk with someone from the administration staff at the Foxtrot Tower, Yuki said. We'll take advantage of that wind current. Hold on tight. Yuki grabbed the reins tightly, showing a lot of confidence. The girl screamed as she felt her stomach drop. Quira nose diving into a sudden movement, the wind current pushing them further and making them gain quite some speed. The women regained altitude a few seconds later. Nobody ever could be ready for such a sensation, Mickey thought as she felt the wind through every part of her body. It was a terrifying sensation, but also one of her favorites. She felt free. Captain, I think my stomach back there. Mickey said, trying to keep herself together. Yuki kept a mischievous smile on his face all the way through. Back here. I wonder where this journal is. Alright, I gotta move my mouse there for a second. Kinda let me worrying. After 5 hours of flight. That's a lot. I mean, God. I mean, I don't think I really mind that much car rides or whatever. I don't mind riding animal like this for 5 hours, anyways. After 5 hours of flight, Mickey and Yuki were finally reaching their destinations. A very deep fog was preventing Yuki from looking ahead. He slowed down in case they encountered any other dragon moving in the opposite direction. Once the fog cleared up, they noticed a very different view down below. Now this is a place if I have ever seen one. The lead plains had turned into a beautiful, colorful landscape. Cereal and vegetable fields started to become visible. They saw nothing but farms for several minutes. They also noticed several other flying creatures moving around this area. Not long after, they arrived at their true destination, Foxtrot. The tower on the north section of the city was its most prominent landmark. It wasn't nearly as tall as the apple tree of the academy, but considering it was the biggest building in the city, it was hard to miss. There was a river that flowed through the middle of the city, east to west. The population of the city was about 27,000 people, making it the 9th largest city in all of Fusu, and the 3rd largest within the Xiao Sen administration. Oh, alright. The Foxtrot Tower, being one of the few surviving buildings of the old world, became a place of importance in the continent. It's also home to Xiao, the ruler of Olhum, the country southwest of Fusu. This made Foxtrot the capital city. This tower also became the first and most important headquarters of the Terra Magi in the continent. Mickey and Yuki remain silent for a few minutes while they look around the city from above. Their eyes eventually focus on the large tower near the middle of the city. It's much larger than I remember. Let's get some rest as soon as we land. Or at least you, Quira. Mickey said while rubbing the area of the wyvern's stomach that wasn't covered by the saddle. Oh, damn it, I've checked. I do remember that. I open, just check. No questions, just check. Quira breathing had become heavy because of how tired she was down 5 hours of flight. Carrying them wasn't a problem, but the length of the trip was pushing her limits. Well, I don't think I'm seeing any sparks though. I mean, there's plenty to see though. Yuki guided Quira directly towards the tower. The instructions were to go there as soon as they arrived after all. There were platforms on different heights of the tower. Can I check now? Nope. They noticed someone was standing near the entrance of the east platform, near the top of the tower. Yuki thought he recognized that person until he confirmed their identity by landing. Your uncle, why am I not surprised that he's the welcoming party? Said a not very excited Yuki. Mickey's uncle was talking with someone at the time, a conversation that didn't last long as they parted ways as soon as the wyvern stopped moving his wings. I thought he would be busy with work at this time of the day, Mickey said as she waved at her uncle, who was already had his full attention to them. She squeezed Yuki's waist. I don't think we will meet him this soon, to be honest, Mickey said nervously. He's the one in charge of the new recruits after all, so it makes sense. Yuki said. The man was already very close to them by that point. Mickey, my precious little girl, said the man out loud. The man took Mickey by her waist and pulled her off the wyvern. Her security harness was still strapped around her, making the movement awkward than it should. Uncle Vin, Mickey screamed as she felt how she was being carried with so little effort. Vin didn't seem to care about embarrassing Mickey like that, moving her in the air as she was a little girl. His laughter was out of place considering the height and body of the mass of the man. Yuki wasn't sure what to say. This wasn't the first time seeing Bean and Mickey interact this closely. After wrapping her arms around his neck, very exactly Mickey spoke. I have so much to tell you. We were flying for like 6 hours. Yuki's such a great pilot, and I think that Guida is quite hungry. Her stomach started rumbling and Mickey said she immediately got ashamed for the fact that she was acting like a little girl. I think we're ready to get our luggage and to present ourselves, she said in a much more mature tone. I'm sure that Fox boy's job isn't that right. Oh wait. I'm sure that's Fox boy's job. Isn't that right? Vin said as he looked at Yuki with less than friendly stare. Yuki frowned at the man before slightly shaking his head. I think so, but what? Yuki said before being interrupted by Vin. Mickey, come with me, we have something to discuss, Vin said, finally placing the girl on the floor and removing the harness. He began to guide her inside the tower. Mickey and Yuki looked confused at this since they were summoned together. Mickey stopped after only a few steps. Wait, but shouldn't we do that together? Did something happen? Mickey asked. Vin had already moved a few steps away from them. He turned around and looked at them for a moment, realizing that Mickey wouldn't go anywhere without Yuki. He finally complied. Come with me, both of you. Someone will take care of your luggage and Wyvern, Vin said. He started to change almost immediately as if he had seen something he didn't like. Mickey grabbed her partner's hand. We'll be alright. We're together after all, Mickey said, squeezing his hand. A bit of her nervousness was quite apparent. Alright, just checking that everything's still recording. Alright, nothing to check here. Well, better than, checking and seeing nothing than never checking, I'm going to say. It's just that I'm not used to hearing him talk like that. Let's go, Mickey said after parting ways with their Wyvern. For now, Mickey and Yuki made their way inside the Foxtrot tower. In a serious tone, Vin was waiting for them inside the hallways of the tower. The structure was made out of magic infused block specialized in preventing and slowing down the natural decay of materials. And the same property that made possible Xiao to protect this place from total destruction. I hope I'm pronunciating things right. I mean, it's me, right? Probably not. But, at least you're aware that I'm trying. Anyways, Vin took them both to the top of the floor of the tower. On their way they came across several members from other terraforming teams. Most of the people in the headquarters were people that actively work in the field already, which made them especially interesting for Mickey and Yuki. After researching the top level of the tower, they found themselves in a long hallway with a single large door in the middle. The decorations inside the tower were quite mundane, but it was that simplicity that gave it a sophisticated look. Unlike most of the other furniture, this door was made out of real wood. The door quality quickly revealed to them that it was one of the last surviving assets of the tower from the old days. Xiao Sen? We're really going to meet her? Yuki asked, quite surprised. Slow down, Fox boy. I was told only Mickey will go inside. You stay here with me, Vin replied. Mickey became anxious upon hearing that someone had arranged a meeting with the ruler of Olfum for her. I don't understand. What does mean? Mickey asked. Vin shrugged. Don't worry, she doesn't bite. Yuki approached Mickey and said, I'll wait here, don't worry. I bet she just wants to miss you. Yuki was trying to find a good reason for this meeting to take place so suddenly. Xiao has some kind of distant relation with her family, so there could be a personal reason for this, Vin explained. Alright, Mickey said before approaching the door. I hope she's as friendly as you make her out to be, she said before going inside. Good luck, Yuki said before she closed the door behind her. This looks like a place we could check. Well, maybe not yet. Mickey was struck by a weird smell the moment she went inside, a thick, sweet aroma coming from a golden bowl on the office desk. There was a fireplace on the other side of the office, which was currently lit. The only sounds that could be heard were those of the fireplace and the pendulum clock close to the entrance. "Hello?" Mickey said aloud, trying to grab the attention of someone. "My name is Michaela. I just arrived to the city with my partner a few minutes ago. They told me to come in." Mickey paused for a second as she heard and then emerged from the fireplace crackle. "Alone?" The voice grabbed Mickey's attention right away. "Last time we met, you were really just a baby. Please take a seat," said the voice coming from one of the chairs in front of the fireplace. "I apologize if I'm a little abrupt, but do we really know each other?" Mickey asked before she made her way towards the chairs. Mickey took the other chair. She had only heard the description of Xiao Zhen until now. Seeing her was a rare sight, even for people within Foxtrot. Small white fox was lying on the other chair. Being a creature of such old age, it was expected for her to be resting most of her days. Her body was apparently covered in bandages. "Yes, but you certainly won't remember. I was one of the first few that laid eyes on you," Xiao said. The fox remained still, with her eyes closed, enjoying the warmth of the fireplace. "You don't have to be formal. I wouldn't want you to be uncomfortable around me." "Oh, okay," Mickey muttered. Mickey muttered. Her eyes were fixated on the fox's white fur. It reminded her of Yuki. "Excuse me, could you explain to me what's happening?" Mickey said as she remembered how confused she was a moment ago. "Does it have to do with my family? I can't think of a single reason why I will be asked to meet you alone," Mickey said. It took a few seconds for Xiao to finally respond. "Your family has helped me across several generations. You could say I owe them my life. I have always felt like there was quite a debt on my shoulders with all of you," Xiao explained. "Sadly, most of your family members have distanced themselves from what they represent. I took your upbringing as personal, which sounds quite baseless for me to say that since this is our actual first time meeting in which we can acknowledge each other. But I'd like you to know that I have been following your progress up until this point," Xiao explained. "The fact you became a Terra Magi doesn't surprise me," Xiao said. She remained silent for a moment, contemplating if her choice of word was the best. Mickey kept close attention to everything that Xiao was saying. "I welcome you to the most important job of your life. You're more than qualified for the job, however. You'll have to start from the bottom. Academic work is nothing compared to actually being out there. There's a problem though. Your partner must be replaced," Xiao said, while looking away from the fireplace. "Based on his records, he has the potential to become a very good anchor, but a lot of people aren't quite convinced that he's the right partner for you. This job isn't a game. It could cost the life of both of you in a second if a single mistake is made," Xiao said. Mickey bit her lowerly, but she heard what Xiao had explained. She held her hands together in her lap, fidgeting a bit. "Why are you so sure about this? If we're not qualified for the job together, why would they call us here as a team?" Mickey said in a very serious and painting tone. "We decided together that this will be our job. Everything that we have done so far, even if it's just academy work, we did it together." "I don't understand what he did wrong," Mickey said. There was an uncomfortable silence between them for a moment. "Didn't you think it was strange? Almost 3 years of waiting after graduation, a potential danger was seen when you team up with that man. So the people that are in charge of approving teams as grand sins decide to wait it out," Xiao said in a relaxed tone. "They thought you will get fed up with waiting, and you will ditch your partner in hopes that maybe you will have better chances of getting approved." Kind of a big move. "Yeah, let's make the girl wait." She can probably get bored. I don't know, I mean, wouldn't they think that, she was just going to wait it out anyways? It's not like she knew. Mickey was on the verge of tears upon hearing that. She was ready to drop everything and forget about all of this. The interest to start you on the job was just too big, so they went ahead and approved you as a team. However, their attempts to replace your current partner are still in motion. While I'm an authority in these matters, It's still one vote against mine, Xiao explained. After holding back her tears, Mickey took a deep breath and spoke. I heard something about it during our academy years, mostly after graduation, while we all waited for approval, talking and judging behind our backs. Alright. Mickey stood up, ready to leave. I am sorry, I won't do it. It's not going to happen. If you want to send Yuki away, I'll go with him. There's no reason for them to think those things about him. We haven't even done a single real job. Even if it takes 5 or 10 years to prove ourselves, we will stay together, said Mickey. Sorry for wasting your time. You're quite different from the person that I thought would walk into my office one day, Xiao interrupted. Fox looked at Mickey. Even if I don't have the absolute authority to approve your team, you happen to be inside my jurisdiction. This country is mine, so we can do something to get you started, Xiao said. This made Mickey relax her body a bit. The idea that there was a possibility of them not being sent back to the academy was quite reassuring. Those people at Grand Scenes wouldn't want to wait a decade for things to get going with you, so I'm reasonably confident that if we manage to get you to do some jobs without them knowing, it will build enough confidence in your partnership with them, Xiao explained. I'll take the blame for having these jobs done without proper permission. Let me assign you a task within Foxtrot. If you manage to complete it, I'll allow you to take on the final terraformation exam done by the new recruits, under supervision of course, Xiao said. Thank you so much. I really thought you would kick me out the second I stopped talking. Mickey said, please have some faith in him as well. I know what he's capable of. Don't get me wrong, I'm also divided on the decision. I also think you should get someone else. Xiao said. She stood up on her chair. She struggled to stretch her body. The bandages weren't used as a fashion statement. It's fair that you both are here while I explain the task, so... As Xiao said it, she slightly opened her mouth. A deep pink mist came out from her, quickly reaching the floor. It moved like a serpent throughout the floor of her office, and it slithered its way towards the entrance. The moment it reached the door, it moved under the gap. A few seconds later, Yuki made his way inside of the office. Hey, Vin raised his voice, trying to impose authority on him. It's okay, Vin, close the door, Xiao said towards the man who was poking his head inside the office. Vin just signed it and closed the door the moment later after he realized what was happening.
Boy, what the fuck going on in Miami, bro? Hey, yo, what the fuck?
There he is, Xiao said as she approached him. Yuki extended his arm to pick up Xiao. Yuki made his way onto the chair on which I was sitting moments earlier. Mickey could see Yuki's eye had changed color, common symptom of magical surge within the body. He was being manipulated by the fox. That's kinda dangerous. I presume that was happening, but I was like, let's wait it out until I actually hear it. Pet me, Xiao commanded Yuki by stroking Xiao's head. His expression was one of relaxed bliss. You have very soft hands, Xiao said. It's looking weird. It's getting a little weird here. Mickey stared at the scene, dumbfounded what was happening. Mickey wasn't sure what to think. It felt like she was looking at something she shouldn't. Yeah, both. Ditto. Is this something between foxes? You could have asked me to go get him instead of turning his brain into a smoothie, Mickey complained. She couldn't take her eyes away from Yuki. It was quite unusual to see him in such facial expression. She felt a mixture of tenderness, desperation, maybe a bit of jealousness. She'll laugh a bit. Don't worry. I don't like... Oh god. Alright, I'm done. Thanks for watching. See you later. We're going to turn on the AC. Okay, well... Xiao blew on Yuki's face, causing the pink mist to come out from every orifice of his face, dissipating in the air after a moment. Yuki blinked a few times as he tried to make sense of where he was. He didn't seem to have any idea how he got there, but his memory slowly started to catch up. He vividly remembers walking inside the office and stroking Xiao, just as if he were the remembrance of someone else and not his own. Tell me, why do you dye your hair? Xiao asked Yuki. Mickey? Yuki asked in a strange tone before looking down on his light to find Xiao on it. Yuki, do you feel alright? Mickey asked. She wasn't quite sure what to think of Xiao at that moment. She seemed like totally different from a few minutes ago, one with a very twisted sense of humor. I think I am good. He was quite comfortable about the fact that Xiao was on his lap, considering how important she is. A pleasure to meet you. Yuki Haru, right? Xiao said. Yuki nodded slowly, only once. Xiao jumped down from his lap and stood in front of the fireplace, facing the pair. I need to corroborate something before we start, said Xiao. That you both are friends and only that. Mickey cleared her throat, looking at Yuki right away. We are very close. But we're just friends, Mickey said. She never thought that saying such words could be that hard. She was starting to think that everything that had just happened in that room so far was designated to hurt her. Was it? We have known each other since we first arrived at the academy. We became best friends a few years later, Yuki explained with a fake smile that Mickey noticed right away. She looked at them without any real expression, moving her tail from side to side. You both understand there are Magi's law, right? No relationship is dangerous, Xiao said. You cannot allow your feelings to get in the way of things when you're in the field. Mickey and Yuki remained silent, thinking about what Xiao just said. We can actually look at the office. Huh. That was funny. Yes, very favorable. The butterflies are bringing from the garden. It has some properties that cannot be found in our plane of existence. How accurate is that for another dimension of? How accurate it is that there's another dimension up there? Kind of. I will describe it as a fragment of my mind. That's why the portal closes when I go to sleep. Where the butterflies live in that substance here. Not by choice, I bait them by coating the edge of that ball with the smell they love. I simply collect what falls from the legs. I don't need that much for my research. What would you use it for? Would you read about Nepeta Cataria? Catnip? Did you say that it has similar effect on foxes? I need some recreational time for myself. It also keeps mosquitoes away. I wouldn't dare to judge people for what they do in their free time. Depends, because they're fun dream like, wow. Crazy. Alright. The Crimson Ring doesn't care about how strong your bonds are, it never has. I have lost so many good friends on it. No romance, no distractions, Xiao said with a very strict voice. She relaxed her voice and spoke final statement regarding the subject. I don't want to bring anything bad to happen to either of you. Neither Mickey nor Yuki knew how to respond to that. They were both clearly affected by the conversation. We are conscious of the consequences that could happen to us, Mickey said. It was hard for her to put their relationship on balance. She understood Xiao's point and reasoning, but there was nothing she could do against her feelings. Yuki knew an attack like this will happen eventually. It didn't matter how prepared he was, he couldn't help but be saddened by it. I'm happy that you understand. You must always take care of your partner, but you also must know when to run. I know it's hard to comprehend, but it's important, Xiao said. There was a bit of a pause before the conversation jumped to a different subject. So we can work together? Yuki asked with a slightly overconfident smile. Let's take it easy here, Xiao said. First I need a book. Alright. Wonder where I can find this journal.